As a health coach, ever have a client prospect ghost you for a discovery call, or when you've had a good conversation and you were going to reconnect about getting started, then they ghost you? So that can be so frustrating because it is a waste of your time when you set aside that time for someone and then they don't show up. So what can you do? Hi, I'm Chen Yen, 6 and 7 figure practice makeover mentor at Introverted Visionary, helping holistic health practitioners with growing, fulfilling 6 and 7 figure practices the introverted way. So let's talk about how to navigate this. First, let's talk about the discovery call itself and if someone ghosts you, what to do. First, let's talk about the mindset side of things, and then let's talk about how to practically deal with this. So, when someone ghosts us, it's never fun, is it? Because it can feel like I just wasted my time. And so part of it is knowing that ghosting you isn't about you. It's a reflection of where they're at. And if they are at a place where they will ghost you, it could be a few different reasons. One is because they just got busy and forgot about it, and they sincerely forgot. For example, what I like to do is I like to see if someone is sincere. For example, as we all make mistakes, if someone doesn't end up showing up and they are apologetic, I will give them a chance. If someone ghosts me and then it doesn't seem like they care that it affected my time too, then I just feel like that's not an ideal kind of person I want to work with. You could set your own boundaries with this and what you will tolerate and won't tolerate. But personally, if someone ghosts me and they don't have a good reason for it, like it wasn't like a medical emergency, then I don't feel like they're a good client to be working with. And so that's one thing. And then the other thing is that if someone ghosts you, it could also be a reflection of their level of readiness for having that conversation with you. It could also be a reflection of their level of connection to you and understanding of your credibility and how you could be of help to them, because there are different spectrums of readiness of someone. So someone might have just heard about you and thought, oh, it'll be nice to book a call with you. And then they kind of forget who you are. And so then in those situations, then there hasn't been enough trust and built up to and also understanding built up to the point where they feel like, okay, I really want to talk to this person. And this person might be able to really help me. So then that could be part of the reason as well. And so knowing that, then what can we do with actually some practical things to help with this situation to minimize this happening? So hot tip number one is, do you actually send them something that can help warm them up to actually be more in understanding of how you could help, and also about your credibility, and also see if they resonate with you or not? Do you send them something about that before you actually talk to them during the appointment? So the second hot tip is, do you give them qualifiers before they can actually book an appointment with you? What are qualifiers? So qualifiers could either be in them filling out an assessment with some answers that can help you suss out their level of seriousness before they actually talk to you. If you don't see they're that serious, or maybe you feel like somebody else is the better fit for them, then either send them something that might be free training or tips, and or direct them to other things instead of actually having a conversation, or give them a referral instead. Or you could have them listen to something of yours before you actually have a conversation. This could be in the way of a video, an introduction of how you could help, perhaps a replay of a webinar if you have something like that. So making that available to them. And this will minimize the number of no-shows because you would qualify them ahead of time. And if they're not really the right fit for you from what you see of their assessment, then you don't even have a conversation. So now let's talk about, what if someone has already had the discovery call with you about whether or not it makes sense to work with you or not, and then you were going to circle back and reconnect, and then they ghost you. So it could be any of those reasons that I shared earlier about why they might ghost you, but also it could be a reflection of their level of seriousness at this point in time. Whether it's a level of seriousness or even a reflection of whether they could be a good kind of an ideal client for you or not. Because do you want people ghosting you? I mean, do you really want to be working with someone who doesn't really care about your time and then just not show up? If someone doesn't show up, it's possible that they may not really just be that interested. And so then in that situation, I know how it could feel. I could feel like, well, but we had such a good conversation. Why are they ghosting me right now? Can you relate to that? I know I could relate to that. And so then for me personally, I like to have closure in conversations. Whether they move forward or not, it's up to them. And I would still love to have closure. And so then what I do is I like to reach out and just see if everything's okay or what's going on, just so I know and have closure. So there are things that I frame in terms of how I approach someone for closure. If they totally didn't show up and don't know what happened to them, I might ask them whether they're okay or not, because sometimes you really never know. Maybe something unexpected happened and they couldn't have a conversation with you. So the first step is find out, if they're okay. And then if they don't respond after that, then send something perhaps by email and say something like, I missed you the other day. What did you end up deciding so I could help you best? So that way, some people will answer you and some people won't. And some people who will, at least you both have closure. And what I found about that situation too is sometimes people may feel like they don't want to move forward with what you had recommended to them, but maybe there's a different option that could be of benefit to them. And many times when I've had a good connection with someone and they are really interested in getting help from me, and I open up this conversation, many times we will have a discussion about what could actually be a stepping stone option for them. So if you come from a place of how can you be of service, how can you be of help, and if you also find out what's going on, and if someone ghosts you, don't take it personally. Also, if you end up getting a lot of people ghosting you, there's something else to also really check in on for yourself is, do I ghost people? Maybe you unintentionally ghost people because you aren't interested in something, but then you feel bad about showing up to tell that person that. And so then you ghost them. And so, for one, how can we have completion of that ourselves and not energetically be attracting that into our world? How could we be energetically also sound with our own integrity? Because if we agree to someone that we're going to show up during that time, then we're out of integrity when we don't show up. So how could we be in integrity with that? Whether it's we let that person know before the call that, I'm not interested anymore, or that you do show up and you end up letting them know. So check in with yourself. Are there areas where perhaps, even though the best that we do for ourselves, sometimes we might be out of integrity? So, check, am I out of integrity in different situations? And how can I be in integrity with that? And you might actually find that you will attract less people who ghost you as well. So hope this has been helpful for you. And for more 6 and 7 figure practice makeover tips and growth tips, the introverted way, go to introvertedvisionary.com. And for those of you who are in a place where your practice is at a plateau and you just feel like you're capable of so much more, you would love the help to accelerate growth in your practice. You either don't know what to do next because what you've been doing hasn't really been working, or you have a sense of what to do, but you don't really know the exact how, then feel free to reach out. We've helped a lot of health coaches and other holistic health practitioners grow to whether it's their first 6 figures or multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures in their practices in a fulfilling way. So look forward to connecting. Go to introvertedvisionary.com, book a free call with us, and more than happy to see how we can help you with growing your practice faster.